Good morning. We are going to go for a little stroll this morning here in Brisbane. We're going to go check out, I think it's the Old Mill and Roma Park. And I don't know, we're just going to kind of explore some more things. We'll give you a walk in order if this is a little something you're looking for an afternoon out or something like that, if you want to do a quick walk. But thanks for being here with us.
Yeah, so come along with us. Who knows what we'll get into.
So first thing, let's go check out this Old Mill. So this is right off of the Spring Hill loop for the bus. And so you can kind of see Old Mill that's actually still in really good condition here. So we'll get across the street here and take a closer look. All right, let me show you some of the history stuff that's here on it. Yeah, because this is a really old mill. It's 1828. So what is interesting about this one is, you know, it was one of the first used in the settlement of this area, but also it's man-powered. And, you know, usually that involved mules, horses, you know, oxen, something like that, not necessarily man-powered, so I'm not exactly sure how this one works. And I don't think that they do any tours or anything. Yeah, it's kind of hard to kind of see inside of it to get a glimpse of anything, but as far as that goes, it's interesting. It still looks like it's in pretty good condition for being its age. So this is a quick view of the Wickham Park. One of the bridges there, it's in the background. This is mostly kind of like a little hillside park, I think. It's pretty though. Looks like it's well kept. This is right here next to the windmill. So if you're looking for a nice walking path, so far this is pretty good because it's also got some nice shade. Coat of arms. So it's from Sir Thomas Brisbane, and that's where the city gets its name. Oh, that's kind of neat. It's kind of neat to learn about an area. I really didn't know what was in the name for the city. And that's a very pretty corner here. Alright, we're going to go across here, and I think this is the Roma Park. You can actually see just down the hill from here, it looks like part of the central train station there. We'll see if we can get a little bit better view across in the park area, but for the moment that's still kind of neat. I'm not sure if that's the original front, but what we understand is this is supposedly one of the better parks that's in this area. It's really well kept. I just want to go over here and see if I can peek down, though, over this fence and kind of catch part of the central train station. Yeah, you can see some of this already coming into sight. Oh, nice. That's like a drainage walk to get up close to it here, but yeah, you can still get a pretty good view here of the trains. I'll give you a little view in the distance. See if we can zoom in. And I think that's one of the footbridges that's there. That may be the one we walked across earlier. I might have to double check on that, but yeah, this is a pretty view, and you can kind of see the hills in the background for the train station. And see these palm trees. But, you know, the inhabitable spots, you know, for a lot of the residents in Australia, it is up along the coastline, which is mostly coastal and tropical. So it's kind of neat. I bet gardeners love this area. So it looks like the amphitheater is over here on my right, but I'm not sure what all this is that's going on down here. We'll go check it out and explore. So this area is a really nice outdoor amphitheater. So in this park, almost all weekend, this is Easter weekend, by the way, and there's activities going on for families, all kinds of things. I think there's even a Easter bunny meet and greet. Yeah, gosh, this is fabulous for having outdoor activities. So I imagine that's some of the crowds here. I'm not sure what the activity is that's going on down there right now. There's just a lot of people hanging out. And you've got playgrounds, and here even comes the train. Let's see if I don't want to get in the way.
Oh, we're not hopping on, Bob.
So they actually have in the flower garden here, it's kind of made up as like a little birthday cake or Easter cake, I guess. Is that real? I think so. Oh no. I thought that was decoration, but no, he's just hanging out here, isn't he? Well, I guess they like the park too. Oh, that's wild. They almost look like they're little floating blocks. Huh. Got you out in the water. That's pretty. Ah, that's the way through. All right. Oh, neat. 25 years here in Roma. And this is quite impressive on the flowers. I can see why a lot of people are hanging out. So I think they call that the spectacle garden. And I think it's just because it's all flowering plants. There's still a lot here where people are hanging out and stuff like that, but a lot of it's there just in the flower gardening area. We're going to walk down to the observation here and kind of look. I think they've got lotus flowers in bloom. Up above, of course, we're just kind of exploring. There is a little observation deck, some elevated walkways, stuff like that. So there's a lot here to explore. They just got more of these like stepping stones out on the water. This is really neat.
Here we go. Yeah. Roman. Oh yeah, you're gonna hold on. Roman, this way. Roman, this way. Would you like to get that chair? Would you like a bicycle party, or a slide party, or a science party? Yeah. You're a couple of yeah. Yeah. If you know the dance moves too much live, nice, loud voices. We're spinning plates. Oh, cool.
Some really neat activities this Easter weekend. Families out here just enjoying their Easter weekend. I think it's really neat. Some have dressed up in their Easter dresses. Just a really fun family time.
Well, let's check out this little section. It says Rainforest for Fern Gully, or Gully. There's two little elevated walkways here. One goes up through the Fern Gully, and then of course there's another one that goes up above the section there. So we're gonna go check those out. So there is a lot here to explore. This is a very large park area. That's kind of unexpected. And the vegetation's so dense, you can see even the lights are on here underneath the bridge. One thing we did notice right here is on the back of this sign, you can actually do a guided and self-guided tours. So there's something here for you if you want to try to scan that. I imagine it's some volunteers or maybe even an audio guide as you're walking through. So that's pretty neat. Yeah, it's just very peaceful back in here, even though you're right in the middle of the city. Of course, like we said, this is kind of a holiday weekend for most families. So looks like they're coming out and enjoying the good weather and just having a good day. So this is one of the best, I think, functional parks. You know, there's been some just absolutely amazing gardens and things like that we've ran across in Australia, but this is the first one I've seen where, you know, it was utilized by families more so. And this is neat, the way it just kind of wanders kind of back and forth, and it's all shaded, and it's I don't know what, probably 75 to 80 degrees today, so
But they have water and toilets,
yeah,
and playgrounds.
Yeah, lots of places to break, so you know, you can come out fully and not worry about having to have some water. And then there's food if you want to come out and just get some food out here.
Or
food trucks.
Bring your picnic. Have a picnic lunch.
Yeah, there's all kinds of opportunities just to come out and enjoy the day. And these views, like what? Look at this. This is like a full canopy walk that a lot of times you have to pay for some of these tours on for free. There's one of the balconies that you can kind of overlook. And it's even called the Lookout. So that's kind of neat. Yeah, the mosaic map. Wow. All out of glass. Wow, that's the view. I don't know what these plants are. That's neat. It kind of looks like a cabbage onto a tree. There's a lot of plants I need to learn about, but that's a new one for me. But it sure is pretty. Just trying to look where I seen somebody pointing the camera, and then all of a sudden, let's see, I can't quite focus. While this year is already over, you can actually kind of see some of the events and approximate dates that they scheduled events. So if it's something you're looking forward to in the future, I would definitely make some plans if you are looking for something to do on Easter weekend. This has got a lot of things going on for families. When they talk about it's so many meters, now it makes sense. How many meters? And they're big. Well, they got a nice little herb garden here. Eggplant. It's neat. Well, these are all the things I think we see while we're here. There's a lot going on. Plus the food trucks. Yeah. Well, this is something I haven't seen anywhere else. So it's Queensland's great, but it's kind of recognizing local folks. You know, for example, like Olympians, biotech, journalism. There's a lot from this area. You know, usually you might be able to have a fame to claim kind of thing going on with like one or two people, but that's a lot of folks from here. So where we were standing earlier to kind of look down under the train tracks section, if you're coming to the lower part of Roma Park, it does come down here just over the train area, and you can see the central clock tower there. This is kind of neat. So there is some underground parking and stuff that's in this area, and you can walk right along this back to the CBD, so you can make a nice loop out of this if you're coming out to visit the park area. Hmm.